All right, let's look at this, see what this is. That was from fucking. That sound was from an old train game, an old train computer game. I swear it was.
Is it easier for a man or a woman to acquire sex?
It is much easier for a woman to acquire sex.
Why is that?
Because we choose.
Because men are desperate. That's why. Because men are fucking desperate for it.
We choose whether or not we have the option of whether or not we're gonna let a man have sex or not.
I don't think that that's necessarily true.
Don't women typically consent to sex?
Wait. No.
Consent goes.
No, wait, no. No, is this gonna be one of those videos where the dude doesn't even know what the fuck consent is? Holy fucking shit, no.
Both ways.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. What's the longest that a man...
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna walk back on the thing about women it being easier for women to find sex. I'd say yes and no. I feel like if you are like, yeah, on one hand, like men are, it might be a little bit easier for women to get sex, but like I don't think it's like necessarily as like, I don't think it's as big of a gap as so many people think it is, as so many men especially think it is. Like so many men think they think that it's like this gigantic like Mario has you like you have to throw a shell and jump on it type gap, or jump over Yoshi type gap in order for a man to get sex. If you're like a nice decent guy, like, and you don't stink and you just have a fucking job, or at least show some sort of prospect of getting a job or whatever, have some way of like making money, like, and even if you like, yeah, as long as you have some prospect of like making money, as long as you're basically not a bum, like women aren't really gonna care, and you're gonna find it. Like it's not, and you're gonna be able to get it a lot. It's not the thing that I think is a problem is that too many men beat themselves up before they've even like gotten to the fucking ring. Like that's the biggest problem I think with men and dating, is that men beat themselves up way too much. Like I'll see like and I've seen very attractive dudes too, by the way, beat the shit out of themselves, like mentally, when it's like, dog, like I had a friend who I thought was a pretty attractive dude, and so also did like a lot of women as well. Like he would get numbers and still talk down about himself. It's like, bro, stop. Like, yeah, you have seen me do it. Like luckily I've grown out of it.
You know, it's happened. I don't know.
But does that typically happen?
Maybe.
Like I beat my like.
Okay, so isn't it
like I beat myself up over shit? Like literally, once you just stop that shit, like it'll be fine. And I also think a large part of it is that like dudes are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Very entitled. Like a dude will look at one woman and then automatically think like, oh, that's gonna be my wife, or like I want to have sex with like that one in particular. And it's like, no, like.
Fair to say that women
just because you want her does not mean she wants you.
Generally control access to sex more than men do?
If a woman wants sex, she can get it. If a man wants sex, doesn't mean he can necessarily get it.
Okay, so is it safe to say that women typically control access to sex more than men do?
Okay, so this is kind of like a trick question, slightly. This is a slightly trick question. Again, the problem here is that, okay, so the same people that believe that women control, or women are like the gatekeepers of sex. So in a way, they kind of are. In a way, in a slight way, but it's more along the lines of like. Actually, you know what? No, I can't even say that. I cannot with confidence even say that like women are the gatekeepers of sex. I can't fucking say that. No, again, if you are like a half decent dude and you don't fucking stink, like. You will be fine. And also, the thing is that a lot of dudes, in many cases, will be fucking picky, like incredibly fucking picky. But then these will be the same dudes that will complain that they can't get laid. It's like, listen, do you want to get laid or not? Like, if getting laid is the point, then because there will be women that will walk up to these dudes and will approach these dudes or hit them up or whatever, and they'll reject them because they think they're not like super attractive or what have you. It's like fucking nonsense. But again, these will be the same dudes that will complain that they can't get laid. The same dudes that'll complain that they can't get laid. Like,
Because it's easier for a woman to get.
Oh, and with the whole gatekeepers of sex thing, like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, maybe, because with in many cases, it's like a safety thing, you know, like women have to worry about being women more often than not have to worry about being have to worry about rape, whereas men don't necessarily have to. I mean, rape still does happen to men, but like not to the same degree that it happens like to women, like by men. You know what I mean? Like I think there was a study was showing that like gay men who experience sexual assault like as much or almost as much as women. I don't know, and I don't quote me on it, but I think I saw a statistic like that somewhere. But you know, it's far less likely that a man, I as a person who looks like a man, like I'm non-binary, but I as a person like who goes out in public and is very masculine presenting when he goes out in public, when they go out in public, like I do not have to worry so much about being assaulted as much as my fiance does. Like she has to worry about that shit. That is like a legit fear that she has. I don't have that fear for myself.
Sex than it is for a man?
I don't like the phrasing that you're boxing me into, but
And see, and she even understands, like she's being boxed into that, into that terminology or that phrasing. Like,
But I mean, would you have a different way of explaining it? I mean, is that not generally true?
I think that
I mean, if it's easier for a woman to get sex,
another thing is, like, you have to understand that sex is something that is given. It's something that is shared between like two people. Is another thing. Like, a lot of people think that like a lot of men think that like a woman has to give them sex. Like, in many cases, or at least in my opinion, sex is something that is shared between two people.
it's harder for a man to get sex. We can't conclude that women typically control access.
okay, it's easier.
If you guys haven't heard or used Curology, this message is for you.
For a girl, for sure.
Like, never mind.
Yeah. Guys are thirsty.
Since it's harder for men,
And that's it, right? Like, in many cases, guys are freaking thirsty.
should women be surprised that guys have lower standards for sex than women?
Not really, because I mean, they just want to get it in, right?
Yeah, real quick. I don't know.
Don't women have the privilege of being more picky because they have more options?
I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't women have the
But
privilege?
that's the thing, though, is that, like, with guys, though, like, so there's also a difference in the way in which guys and girls are gonna flirt, right? So, like, women, in some cases, aren't gonna be like with guys. In many cases, it's gonna be like blatantly obvious, like, oh yeah, this guy clearly, like every woman, trust me, dog, she knows. There's a very good chance that she knows, or that she has like an inkling that you like her. Meanwhile, there are dudes. I'm one of them. I've done this multiple times before. Hell, I didn't even know Paige had a crush on me for like 3 months before she and I ever actually even talked. Like, it trust me, like, they know, and you, in many cases, will not know. That is another thing. And it also comes down to, like, safety as well for men and women. Like, as a guy, as a person who presents as a guy, I do not necessarily, I do not necessarily have to worry so much when I go outside of, like, being assaulted. Or when I'm like flirting and hitting on or when I'm flirting or talking to or hitting on a woman, like, I don't have to worry that she's going to take my advances and then like assault me afterwards. I don't have to worry about that.
Privilege of being more picky because they have more options.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of an incel?
No.
An incel?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Have you ever heard of an incel?
No.
They're like, no, we fucking touch grass. Like, wait, when was this made? Oh, 2020. Okay, so this was made in August. Okay. Last month. Okay.
Okay, incel stands for involuntarily celibate, and it refers to a person who can't get any sex. Who is more likely to be involuntarily celibate, men or women?
Man.
Men. I think it's 1 in 3 men are not having sex right now.
In today's society, if a man goes up to a woman and asks her for her number or Snapchat, he's looked at as like a creep and a pervert. But if a woman goes up to a man, it's 100% okay, which is not okay to me.
Why are men shamed?
That guy's not getting it. I'm gonna just tell you right now, he's not getting it. I mean, well, also, like, again, I've said this before. A large part of this problem is that, like, we're not teaching young boys how to socialize correctly. We just don't teach them that. We just kind of have the whole boys will be boys mentality as soon as they're fucking born. Like, we don't teach them how, like, you know, this is how you should talk to, not even just women, but this is how you talk to people. This is how you should talk to people. Like, I'm sorry, but when I look at a group of young boys and a group of young girls, in many cases, I'll see, like, the boys look like freaking savages that have had, like, no home training. Like, because in many cases, they don't. We don't teach, we think it's, or at least when I was growing up, it was viewed as, like, a sissy sort of thing to teach boys how to, like, express feelings and emotions and essentially socialize. No, boys just go and roughhouse all day and wrestle. And I hated that shit growing up. I fucking hated wrestling and roughhousing as a kid. I hated that shit. It hurt.
Not being able to get sex, but also shamed for trying to get sex.
That's a good question. I think it's the way they go about trying to get sex, because women want relationships. Well, I can't say all women, but a good amount of women.
Oh no, he's gonna do the meme. He's gonna do the women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of relationships meme.
Want relationships, and when you meet the men that just
Which I don't get that second part at all.
want sex, it kind of tarnishes everything.
Is it fair to shame men for being incels when women are the ones who control access to sex?
I don't think you should shame anybody for anything.
Is it fair to shame men for being incels when women are the ones who...
It's not even necessarily... Okay, so the thing, when it comes down to, like, incels being shamed, it's not even just the fact that they can't get laid that's being shamed. It's the behavior that they adopt from not being able to get laid. Also, I can almost guarantee you that this guy and the guy that is... I mean, well, this guy might pull. I don't know. Actually, you know what? No, he probably does not. But, like, I can tell you that, like, that I can almost guarantee you that, like, both of these guys have probably passed up opportunity with perfectly good women just because they didn't think that they were attractive. But will, again, complain about the fact that they could not get laid. Just saying.
Control access to sex.
No, not at all.
Isn't
like, I rejected people, but, like, I didn't complain that I couldn't get laid. You know what I mean? Like, because I understood that I was like beggars can't be choosers. Like, it's not fair to the women, to all the women whose advances I rejected, to sit there and complain because I can't have sex with this one girl. Like what? Or to sit here and complain that I can't get laid because I couldn't have sex with this one girl. Like, what?
victim shaming?
Yes, 100%.
Isn't every man who's been rejected temporarily an incel?
Yes.
No. Oh my God, no. I hate this. I hate this so much. Every man that has been rejected temporarily as an incel, no. You are not temporarily an incel. No one, okay, I've said this before, but this is this is my biggest critique of incels and why I really do not have any sympathy for incels, okay? Because incels, all right? Incels, the whole idea of being involuntarily celibate is pushing the idea that it is up to someone else to ensure that you get laid, essentially. Dog, you can either pull or you can't. And that's just the way it works. And you know what? That's kind of reductive. I'll go back on that with just a wee bit. You can either socialize and be a good party goer, good person who's like out there, socializing and shit, or you're just garbage at it. One or the other. And that's just the way it works. Like, and I do think we need to teach men better, though. I do think we need to teach them better.
Is it fair to portray incels as lazy, immature losers because they don't conform to women's standards and selectivity?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Wait, what? All of these questions are just projection.
Yes.
Is it fair to portray incels as lazy, immature losers because
Dude is so bad he couldn't even pull a corpse in a funeral home? Exactly.
they don't conform to women's standards and selectivity?
No.
But that's not it. That's not it. Like, we watched like a week ago the video about like the deep rabbit hole of like incels and inceldom and shit. Like, it's not even necessarily that these guys don't conform. Look at me. Look at my room. Look at this room. Like, but then again, I guess being a nerd is like in now. I don't know. But like, but that's the thing though. So Fur Biscuit, you're not garbage at socializing though. It seems like you seem pretty all right with it. Like, honestly. I mean, this is from what I'm gathering from Twitch chat, but like, you seem like an all right dude. Honestly, you're outgoing and you're fun. You're a pleasure to have in my chat and in the fucking community. You're not garbage at socializing. But like, and this is the problem. This is the problem, right? I hate people. But see, that's the thing. Some people who hate people, I don't like people, but I'm on the fence with people. But I'm good at socializing though. But like, that's the thing though with a lot of like sorry, my train of thought. That's the thing with like a lot of incels though, is that like they have these they think that women have like these unreachable expectations, and in many cases a lot of women don't. Like, they get rejected by that one woman that's like completely unreasonable, that one woman that would totally be a contestant on one of those shows where it's like, you're completely unreasonable with dating. Or that one show with Steve Harvey, I forget, not Family Feud, the other one. They have women that will go on those shows. They get rejected by women that would be like front row primary contestants on those shows, and then think that that's how all women are. It's like, no, dude, just go try again. It's fine. You're fine.
Yes. No.
Yes.
No.
Fucking incel.
If a
I'm
man
dead.
can't get sex, he
I'm dead.
might be made fun of and called names just for that. And then, well, also I think if a man does get a lot of sex, it might be.
But in many cases, like, when you're a dude, and I know this from experience, when you're a dude and you don't get a lot of sex, it's not other women that are making fun of you. If any case, like, some women actually are like, maybe we could work something out or some shit, right? But like, when or at least that's been my experience, at least. Like, that's been my experience. But like, the people that made fun of me when I hadn't had that many sexual partners, what have you, were all other dudes. It's always other dudes that'll make fun of you. Women don't care, it seems like. They don't care. In many cases, they don't care because they get slut shamed. So like
Everyone praises him also for getting a lot of sex, so I don't really think that there's a whole lot of men out there that are getting shamed for having a lot of sex.
Is it fair to portray incels?
Yeah, there's like this double standard. Like, women get shamed for having sex, for having so much sex, and then men get shamed for for not having enough sex. But guess who's the one that's always doing the shaming? Other fucking men. Probably just my environment though. Those are the easiest ones to pull. Is the sad part. What do you mean? Which one's the easiest ones to pull?
As lazy, immature losers because they don't conform to women's standards and selectivity.
Negative.
No.
Everybody is built different and has their own standards in life.
Exactly.
If a man does conform, does that make him a simp?
Wait,
No.
Wait, no. She just said everyone is different. Everyone is, so there is no conforming. Like, the super hot ones, yeah, the super hot ones are so easy. Like,
why is it more acceptable to shame men?
and in many cases, the super hot ones are like sort of easier because they have like, they're confident in themselves and like their bodies and stuff in many cases, which is like sad that there are others that don't, and we should really change that shit. But like,
for having low
I like her
standards
response. I like her
versus
response.
shaming women for having unrealistic high standards?
Wait, hold on. What was the question? What was the loaded question?
Does that make him a simp?
Negative.
No.
Why is it more acceptable to shame men for having low standards versus shaming women for having unrealistic high standards?
What? Who's shaming men for having No, wait, oh wait, no, I see what it is. Again, this is another thing where it's like, it's brought upon by men. Like if you're, another thing that men will do, not a lot of men, actually no man has ever really, one man has ever talked bad about, has talked down about Paige's looks. But every person that I've shown Paige's picture to has said that Paige is either hot or pretty. And it's always been like a picture of her with like me in it, like not just one picture of her. It's always been a picture of like us two together. I think if you show a picture of like just her by herself, it's kind of weird, you know. It's kind of objectifying slightly, like. So like, you know, the funny part is that it's like, again, it's always other men that will judge you and that will judge like your partner and the one that you pulled. It's always going to be other men that will judge you. It's never women. Like women will just go, "Oh, she's pretty," like all the time, like all the time. But there will always be a dude, and in many cases, that dude will just be jealous and will say that you're obviously like totally like drop dead gorgeous partner is like, they'll say that she's ugly because they're jealous, but like, yeah.
That is right.
BetterHelp is customized online phone, video, and live chat sessions with your therapist.
I'm speechless on that one.
Oh yeah, you kind of got me flabbergasted on that one.
Right, you're fluttered. Don't know what to
like, but again, like the reason why they're speechless is because again, this is stuff that is that is perpetuated 9 times out of 10 by other men. Like men will always look to women for the like as to why like they have problems, but like I'm telling you, dog, 9 times out of 10 it's your other homeboys.
Damn. Survival of the fittest. Whoever seems like they're about to get it in gets it in, and they continue their genes and whatnot. But besides that, like, I don't know.
So would you say, based on that women ultimately?
But again, like everybody's different. This is why these incel channels and why incels always fail is because they're so hyper fixated on putting everyone into a fucking box and say like, well, this is just a fact of the matter. This is a reality. All women like men with money. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, all men. And then when you say all men like women with big breasts and big butts or some shit, some men, oh no, the majority of them will probably just be like, yeah. The majority of them will probably just be like, yeah. But like, well, when you call them shallow for that, that's when they get really pissed because they know to say, oh, it's just my preference. Like, okay, you're not shallow for liking those things. You're shallow when you reject a woman because she doesn't have those things.
Control the evolution of society.
Yes.
Based on the men that they choose?
Yes, it's because it's like the mating rituals. Like they say yes or no. Most breeds.
Wait, hold up. What she said? What was the question?
It's that, like, I don't know.
So would you say, based on that women ultimately control the evolution of society?
Yes.
Based on the men that they choose?
Yes, it's because it's like the mating rituals. Like they say yes or no.
Wait, but like, this is like, the way he keeps portraying it and keeps framing it is through this like almost like this sense of like ownership, I guess, because technically like he makes it seem as though women are walking around like picking up men and going, okay, you're mine. But that's not what's happening. It's a two-way, they don't understand that it's a two-way street. It's not a you walk up and choose somebody. It's a two-way fucking street.
Most breeds.
So then how are we living in a patriarchy where men have all the power?
Just because that's how society was set up when women were supposed to stay home and take care of the kids and the guys went out and did all that shit and we're supposed to rely on them.
What is the longest you've
I love how he did not refute that. I love how he did not refute that. He did not refute that because it's fucking true.
gone without having sex?
A year?
What is the longest by choice you've gone without having sex?
A year?
Probably like
What the fuck kind of question was that?
18 years.
What is the longest by choice you've gone without having sex?
Probably like a month.
Who's more likely to lie about how long they've gone without sex, men or women?
Women.
Don't men lie about getting more and women lie about getting less?
No.
Yeah, kinda. I feel like men. Yeah, I feel like it goes both ways. But I feel like also there will be a lot of dudes that will also lie about how much they've gotten, and will say they've gotten. I actually don't know, because I've met my fair share of men that have told me that they do lie in some cases to women about how many they've had, and say that they've had less when they've in fact had more. Like, yeah, that is true. That I feel like it works. I feel like a lot of stuff again just works both ways. If you're a person that is actually like, if you're actually like a person that can socialize in society and washes their ass, like,
Yeah.
Don't men lie about getting more and women lie about getting less?
yeah, he
Yes.
does seem like
Why?
he's still a virgin.
Because we're seen as being tarnished for the more sex that we have.
Why are women who sleep around seen as sluts while men who sleep around are seen as studs?
Oh my god, he's gonna flip this around her some kind of way. He's totally going to flip this around to against her on some. He's totally going to flip this on her some sort of way, because they always do this. But again, this goes back to dudes. Dudes shame women for having too many and shame other dudes for having too less. It always goes this way.
Because men don't want to see that their woman that they have prospect to be interested in has been with every man.
Could it be because it's easier for a woman to be a slut?
No.
See, I told you. It's always every question he asks is bait. It's always a bait question.
Well, don't women control access to sex?
They do, but there are many male sluts. They're just being praised for being that way.
But isn't it hard?
Exactly. That is exactly true, though. Men who have sex or who have positive relationships with women are always praised in comparison, while women who do the same thing are, what's it called? Sorry, I saw Verbiscuit's message and I'm thinking about that now. Well, men who go out and get men who just look at like Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate, right? They're praised because they are looked at as like getting it all the time, right? Meanwhile, women are always, just go to TikTok and look at I have so many mutuals that are like beautiful women that are slut shamed all the time for literally no reason. No fucking reason in their comment section. No fucking reason. Why though? Why do guys do that? Why do guys do what? Why do guys shame other men and then for not having as much sex and praise others? Well, I do not know. I do not know. I guess it's just like it's a peer pressure, like popularity thing, you know, like because we all want it, or at least a good portion of us want it, and because of the fact that it's because of the fact that something is like, this might sound kind of like objectify-y or like I'm objectifying in a way, but like things are valuable because other people want them. If other people didn't necessarily want them, or if everybody had it, then it wouldn't be as valuable, if that makes sense. Excuse me.
Harder for a man to be a male slut than it is for a woman to be a female slut?
Depends on the man.
Wouldn't you say that the high-value men with lots of options are rare?
And it depends on the woman too. Like this whole idea that like every woman's gonna get like is gonna be able to get laid is just not true.
Yeah.
So then, wouldn't you say that it's more like
Hold on, go back.
for a man to be a male slut than it is for a woman to be a female slut?
Depends on the man.
Wouldn't you say that the high-value men with lots of options are rare?
Yeah.
So then, wouldn't you say that it's more likely for
The high value man with lots of options are rare. Okay,
your average woman to be a female
disagree.
slut than your average man?
Yes.
Women sleep with who they want, men sleep with who they can.
There it is. There's the defeating narrative. There's the defeating narrative right there. Men fuck who they can. Women fuck who they want. men fuck who they can, which paints every woman as like this fucking whore and paints every man as this like desperate little worm in the dirt. Guys, you're better than that, okay? You can go out and fuck who you want. Every person that I have laid with is someone who I wanted to lay with. It wasn't someone I was settling for. It was someone I wanted to lay with. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been there. Like,
Facts.
What's the difference between shaming a woman for being a slut and shaming a man for being an incel? In other words, why are women shamed for having too much sex while men are shamed for not getting any sex?
Well, women can't have sex without being.
because dudes keep doing it. Dudes keep judging other, like, dudes keep judging, like, women will call each other sluts sometime when they, like, are mad at each other and shit, yeah. But, like, it's not, like, dudes will oftentimes slut shame, but will slut shame women and then slut praise men.
Being attached in some way. It's just in our innate.
What do you mean they can't have sex?
Not that they can't have sex. They can't have sex without having some type of emotional attachment.
Why do you think men are more likely to be able to have sex without feelings than women?
Because you guys.
I honestly think that's also bogus. I do think that that's very much bogus. I really do. I think that men just are not taught how to handle and express or portray emotions the way women are in many cases, if that makes sense. We just don't teach men. We don't fucking teach them how to socialize. That's what it is in many cases, in my opinion, at least. I think men do develop emotional attachment or some sort of emotional connection to the people that they have sex with. They're just in denial of it.
Are made to procreate.
The name is involuntarily celibate, so the man is not choosing.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice for that one.
Oh,
but
yeah.
us females, we definitely have a choice to be a slut or not.
Well, because women control access to sex.
I control whether you take my clothes off or not.
We do.
Don't women have a choice to be a slut, but a man doesn't
But like, I control whether or not my clothes come off. Like,
have a choice to be
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Time out for Sunoco Go rewards.
Keep
What?
pumping.
an incel.
Yeah.
So then why would it be worse to call a woman a slut than it is to call a man an incel?
I don't know why it would be worse.
But our society labels it as worse.
half the people don't even, well, because again, like, you being an incel, you're saying it's everyone, and this is how they build it up, right? This is how they build up. They say, like, well, if women are the gatekeepers of sex, then that must mean that, like, you cannot call me an incel, and you can't shame me for being an incel because you won't let me fuck you. And it's like, no, it's not that she's letting you fuck her. It's that sex is an agreement. It's a thing that two people share together. It's an action that takes fucking two people. Like,
they label being an incel worse than being a slut?
Well, in other words, a lot of women resent being called a slut when they have
Correct.
a choice to be a slut, but it's okay for men to be called incels when men don't have a choice to be an incel because men don't control access to sex.
but like, dog, maybe if you weren't out here interviewing these poor women, you could be in bed with maybe one of them by now. Like, I don't know.
I think men don't have the choice on what they're doing, but nowadays with social media going the way it is, women have actually embraced slut. And that's the problem.
Do you think women today are more interested in
I
relationships?
don't think that's a problem, though. I don't think liking sex and having a lot of it is a problem. If you're doing it safely and with other, like, consenting adults, I don't think it's a problem at all. Go do it as much as you want. Like, every day if you want. Like, I don't care. As a matter of fact, I will, like, fist bump you if you're a guy or girl or something in between, like, doing it every day. Like, I do not care. Like, do
Shits
you?
or hookups?
I am the thing in between, by the way. Because I'm non-binary.
You know, I would say more hookups today.
Why?
Wait, hold on.
Women have actually embraced slut. And that's the problem.
Do you think women today are more interested in relationships or hookups?
You know, I would say more hookups today.
But this guy gets it. Like this man, he is getting it every day. He is right now while I'm recording this video. He is doing things. He is that man right there. That confidence, that swagger. That guy's getting it.
Why?
Hey, what's up, Jay?
Because they have all these rappers, you know, saying, influencing them, like trying to, basically they're trying to play the role as men, you know, they're trying to play us out of our money, and
okay, maybe not.
It's bullshit.
Me personally, I'm more interested in.
So it all goes back to the fact that, well, basically, women have their own autonomy now. That's why. Like, women don't have to be, like, locked into relationships and shit with shitty men. They don't have to be locked into marriages with shitty men. Women can have their own agency and they can go do their own shit.
Relationships. Women nowadays, I think, are more worried about their careers and hookups.
So if women are more interested in hookups, how can a man let a woman know he just wants to hook up without making her feel like a slut?
There isn't a way, no matter what.
So aren't we?
I mean, it all depends on whether or not she cares about being a slut, and, like, also some just won't care about being a slut. Like, okay.
Be kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Yes, you are.
Would
I
you
think
ra-
maybe she's just kind of like, I want this to end. I
rather
feel like a
have
lot of
the
them
best sex
are just
you've
like, I
ever
want
had
this
or
to
the
end.
best food you've ever eaten.
Best food you ever eaten.
Yeah, food for sure.
Best food I've ever eaten.
I'm a foodie. I like food.
Would you rather eat all the junk food you want without gaining weight, or have unlimited sex without being slut shamed?
Unlimited sex without being slut shamed.
Who are the bigger slut shamers, men or women?
Women.
Why are there men who shame
Interesting.
women for being?
There are some women who do slut shame though, yeah. But I still think that men are the biggest slut shamers because I don't see this shit. Like I don't see like you. It's always dudes in like the comment sections and shit. It's always dudes.
sluts when men also complain about how hard it is to get laid. Are those the same men?
No.
Wait, what was the question?
Who are the bigger slut shamers, men or women?
Women.
Why are there men who shame women for being sluts when men also complain about how hard it is to get laid? Are those the same men?
Yeah, and it's because they're fucking stupid, and because those men want to go back to like patriarchal norms. That's why. Globus the Elder, how's it going? Or Globus the
No.
Elder, my bad.
I think the men that are calling women sluts are looking for a woman that aren't sluts.
If a woman's body count doesn't matter, why is it typically the first thing women bring up to shame another woman they are jealous of? In other words, why would a woman ever slut shame another woman?
Because you just answered it. Globus? Okay, my bad. You just answered it. Because they're jealous. They're jealous that that woman has gotten more sex than them, so they slut shame them. Like, okay.
Because they know deep down body count does matter.
Is the main reason women don't want to be easy is because they don't want to be shamed? Or could it be that they don't want to relinquish their sexual power over men?
Bruh, put the microphone in the trash can, please. For the love of God. Put the fucking microphone in the trash. Like, if you would have asked me that question, I'd be like, I'm done. I just hand him that microphone and I would just walk away. Just live in the fucking real world for like 2 seconds.
I don't think either one of those. I think the reason why women don't want to be easy is
This guy is platinum in League of Legends.
because we don't want to have a body count, because we want to find somebody that wants us for who we are, and the guys that we're looking for don't want a woman with high body count.
Why is it okay for women to feel entitled to be protected and provided for, but it's wrong for men to feel entitled to sex and intimacy?
Because the two are not mutually exclusive. Like, one thing you're talking about is like, first off, not every woman is like that anymore nowadays. Like, in many cases, there are a lot of women that are like, yeah, you can do your own thing. I'll do my own thing. And that'll just be the end of it. But then you have a lot of women, but then you have a lot of like Wait, hold on. Yeah, you have men that are like, you have women that are like, yeah, you do your own thing, I'll do my own thing. Like, you don't necessarily have to provide for me. It's more of like an equal playing field. Like, that's how Paige and I are. Like, Paige and I will protect and help each other. We're equals in our household, all that type of shit, right? Like, that's kind of how things are more nowadays. I do protect her and like provide for her a little bit more, but it's not because she's a woman. It's because she just needs me to do that for her. Not because she's a woman. And in some cases, I feel like there's some ways in which she provides for me a little bit more. Like,
I think after being provided for so long, and once you're comfortable in the relationship, that men are going to expect for you to be intimate with them at a certain point.
Are women doing men a favor by giving them sex?
Yes. Yeah, I guess.
For a moment.
If a woman rewards a man with sex, why is there still pressure on him?
I don't necessarily think that. I don't necessarily think that a woman is like doing him a favor. I feel like they're both doing each other a favor.
To perform and satisfy her.
I feel like men can be selfish.
Wait, what? Hold on.
A man with sex, why is there still pressure on him to perform and satisfy her?
I feel like men can be selfish.
But girls will not come back if they're not like.
And this is true as well. And this is like another problem with like incels, and how like why incels really like fucking suck is because, and why they'll like fail at getting laid is because incels will always they'll always view the woman as an object. That's it. They'll always view her as an object, and they'll always view her as something like, I just want to get off. That's it. You're just what I'm using. You're a blow up doll to me. You're just what I'm using to get off. That's the reason. One of the reasons why incels will almost never get laid.
Doing well, yeah.
One of the many
Why
reasons.
should a man have to earn the opportunity to please you sexually?
Because women get to decide everything in other species, so why not human species?
Okay, but then if that's true, then why do we complain about being in a male-dominated patriarchy where men control women?
The cost of traditional therapy made it difficult for me to get help when I needed it the most, even though I knew the value.
So it's like, basically, if you're going to decide, so would this kind of be a Mott and Bailey? Technically, would that be what that's like? Would that technically be what that's classified as? Because it's like, on one hand, well, if we live in a patriarchal society, why is it that women and the whole idea, and this is actually a very not too uncommon like thought among dudes, is that like women are actually the ones that control the world simply because men want pussy so badly. It's really sad, honestly. It's a really sad way of like viewing shit. When you really think about it, it's a really sad way of viewing shit. Like, the same men that complain about women and shit are literally, they put the chains around their necks themselves, like, and let the women in a way drag them around. Like, it's, and I mean that strictly metaphorically. Like, so bad.
Because it's the hunter and gatherer type of discussion. Because we had to stay at home and wait for the men to come and hunt and bring that shit back to us for us to like cook and shit. So that's where it started.
Are there female incels?
I think so. Maybe.
If I remember correctly, didn't they like, weren't there just hunters and like they hunted together?
Maybe.
Like,
would it be fair for society to shame a lonely old cat lady for being involuntarily celibate?
No.
How likely are men to have sex with it?
Wait, hold on. I'm reading chat and shit. I'm sorry.
It's the hunter and gatherer type of discussion. Because we had to stay at home and wait for the men to come and hunt and bring that shit back to us for us to like cook and shit. So that's where it started.
Are there female incels?
I think so. Maybe.
Would it be fair for society
Yeah,
to
it's
shame
like
a lonely old
so.
cat lady for being involuntarily celibate?
No.
Wait, no. They don't shame her for being involuntarily celibate. They shame her because she decided to live her life unattached from a man. That's why the old cat lady gets like made fun of. Because she's not fitting into that norm.
How likely are men to have sex with a lonely woman out of pity?
I guess it depends on who you ask. I'd say pretty likely.
How likely are women to have sex with lonely men out of pity?
Oh, unlikely. They just want men that are rich and famous.
How likely are
I'm
women
dead.
to have sex with lonely men out of pity?
Like, can we get like a statistic on this, as to like how often this actually happens? How often does like pity sex actually happen? Like,
Not so like.
and it's not even like I'm not even gonna go into it.
Why is that?
Because a woman wants a man that looks strong and feels strong, and she feels like she's going to be protected, and that's what they look for. So if you look like you're the weak one cowering in the corner, she's probably not going to go up to you.
Men think that there are these issues. Like, if you were more confident, or if you just like put yourself out there more, you just like, F it, whatever, just do it. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter what the woman's standards are. That's what they're attracted to.
Let me ask you this. So if you woke up tomorrow and you were a guy...
I mean, that's straight facts. That literally is straight facts.
Rally here!
Oh, Globus the Elder, thank you so much for the rally. Thank you so much for the Eagles rally. Thank you so much. Does giving your ex pity sex count? Per biscuit.
And you wanted to get laid like most guys do, how would you do it?
I'd go to a bar, find my
She looked like she was about to cry for a hot second. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too.
pretty girl sitting at the bar, sit down, and I'd ask them if I could buy them a drink. Literally. That's all you have to do. Make yourself there. Present yourself. Be confident.
I understand that, but if that was
Literally. Like, and then of course he turns around and he tries to fight her on it. Like,
true, why would there be so many guys who complain about being stuck in the friend zone?
Because they're too busy trying to be the nice guy. They're not actually presenting themselves that they want this. They're looking like the friend, so we see them as a friend.
Do you prefer a man who is a gentleman or a bad boy?
I mean, yeah, that's it. That's kind of it. Like,
I like a gentleman.
Is it fair to say women lust after bad boys that want to settle down with nice guys?
Yes.
How do bad boys treat women?
Like shit.
What's the difference between a man who spoils his woman and a man who's whipped?
What's the difference between a man that spoils his woman and a man that's whipped?
His level of consent and his part in happiness in doing whatever he's doing for his woman. If he's not happy doing it, if he's resenting her,
It depends on the authority that he puts down. Like, there can be a man that spoils his woman in a certain way. He takes her to dinner, he takes her out, he takes her on vacation. And then there's the men that literally bow down hand and foot for their women, that their women are running all over them.
If a woman expects to be spoiled, doesn't that mean she expects her man to be whipped?
No.
Do men shame each other for being whipped the same way women slut shame each other for being easy?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
okay, that one I spaced out there for a hot second. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of this shit is like, oh god, like, okay, but that one right there, let me hear that one again.
And are running all over them.
If a woman expects to be spoiled, doesn't that mean she expects her man to be whipped?
No.
Absolutely not. That one, no, absolutely not. I like to spoil Paige because I love her.
Men shame each other for being whipped the same way women slut.
Like, when you're whipped, per se, it's when you do something that you don't want to do, but you do it because you feel like, oh, this is the only way in which I can keep my partner's interest.
Shame each other for being easy.
Yes.
I don't know about that. I do know that
I don't know about that either. I feel like it might be the same though. I feel like it might be the same. I think.
men will shame their friends for being whipped, and I think that's a problem with the patriarchy.
Does every incel hate women?
No.
Does every feminist hate men?
Probably, yes. Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So literally he has the opposite. Like, I'm a feminist. I don't hate dudes.
Does every incel hate women?
I don't believe every incel hates women. I think that they might be shyer than most men. I think more alpha males end up getting more sex than more beta males do.
Does every feminist hate
Oh wait, she believes in alpha and beta males. Never mind. I thought she was like all right at the beginning, and then as this video kept going, like I'm like,
Hate men.
Huh? Yes.
Wait, hold on.
Men, I think more alpha males end up getting more sex than more beta males do.
Does every feminist hate
But also
men?
she like low key is like, I don't know.
Huh? Yes. I'm not a feminist. I am more of a traditional woman, so I really can't speak on the feminist woman because I don't agree with most of them.
What is the patriarchy?
Patriarchy is. You're gonna make me describe this.
How do you define it?
I'm dead.
Well,
What's the patriarchy? Oh, you're gonna make me describe this. I'm dead.
the old white men who have deemed what is acceptable for men and women, the roles of men and women, social norms, the leads. It's all back to old white men deciding for everybody.
Oh my god. There's a Sneeko shout out at the end. Oh my god. That's hilarious. He has a Sneeko shout out at the end. No wonder he has these shitty ideas. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh dear lord, I hate these channels so much. I hate these channels so much, but but also like I can't help it with their content with making content out of this shit. My god. My god.